everybody. Run for cover and turn your volume down because you are back at the loudest, dopest Black woman hosted podcast for the preeminent Wheel of Time series.
What's up?
I am Keba.
I am Shar.
Jumbo, mi amor, sister, friend.
Yo, I can't. Jumbo, my sister.
What's good with you?
I am just on cloud 100.
Ooh, that's a high cloud.
Yeah,
Was
yeah.
it indica? Was it sativa?
I don't smoke weed, so I don't know.
Oh,
I do know that you're talking about weed.
You're not high enough,
I know
baby.
enough to know that you was talking about weed, but no, I don't do that. No, I'm excited. We just got back from Jordan Con.
Ooh, and boy, are my arms tired.
You're so crazy. Crazy. But we have a very, very special guest.
Oh, I'm tingling with excitement.
Very, very special guest today.
Special guest, not the resident guest.
Not the resident.
She's on vacation. We gave her a break.
Yeah, we gave Call Me a break. We gave her a vacation. She deserves it.
Yes.
But we have an equally dope guest today.
I know y'all are going to be moist with anticipation.
Yes, and
so I'm trying to drag it out.
Right.
I'm trying to tease you all.
So if this wasn't a slip shot operation, we'd have drum rolls.
Oh my gosh.
So
yeah. We should have drum rolls.
It's Lezbi Nerdy. AKA Jenny.
Everyone.
Hey girl, hey.
I'm so excited to be here.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so
We have
invited
made it.
myself
I feel
onto
like
your
we've
podcast.
arrived.
Oh my god, yeah, I feel like we've arrived
We've
as well.
arrived.
Like we are official tissue.
Yes.
If we got Jenny
Yes.
on a podcast with
Yes.
us today.
Well, I'm so
Yes.
happy
Thank
to
you
be
so
here.
much.
Yes, let's not pretend that I didn't send you a message and be like, hey, put me on the podcast.
Well, let's not pretend we were all like, yeah, fuck yeah, we want you on the podcast.
Right. I'm going to be very honest. We were plotting.
We were already plotting.
We were making lists.
We were checking them
twice.
Yes, we were checking
Yeah.
twice. Yes. So please, for anyone in the Wheel of Time world who has been under a rock for the past 3 years or so, let us know who you are. Tell them who you are. Introduce yourself
to them who I am. All right.
Yes. And let us know where we can reach you and everything.
Yeah. Well, I'm a YouTuber mostly. I have a YouTube channel also called Lezbi Nerdy. And if you're looking for it online, you have to put LEZBI space nerdy. Don't forget to put the nerdy in. This is not something I thought of when I thought of my username. I was just like, oh, it's a cute pun. Let's be nerdy. Lesbi Nerdy. But if you just put it wrong, you get porn as your search. And I did not think about that. So
that is so funny.
I mean, not that I'm sure it's fun to, but if you're wanting me, be sure to spell it correctly.
I didn't even know they had porn on YouTube.
I mean, it's not necessarily porn, but you get a lot of it's a lot of ladies kissing ladies on, ladies lying on top of ladies doing things with their legs,
I'm not mad at that.
No.
At all.
Also am not
Thanks
mad
for
at
the
it.
tip.
I'm not mad at it.
Let me, I have you bookmarked, but let me just
But let me write it wrong
intentionally
really quick.
you type it in wrong.
I'm curious now.
See what happens.
Curious.
I just shits and giggles.
That's the story of my life.
And all of that. Awesome. Well,
Oh my gosh. Thank you for being here.
Oh,
We are very, very excited to do this episode with you. This is going to be
this is gonna be
a wang day.
This is gonna be the best bell
It's gonna
time
be a
ever.
Until
oh no, I'm gonna bar the door. Oh my lord.
famous last
Nars
words, if you will.
busting in.
Right.
Well,
right.
listen.
It's
We're
okay
cool
because
with Narc,
we love
so-
Narc here.
Yeah.
We're
No,
Narc stands.
it's true.
We're
He would
Team
come-
Nard.
He might be able to fix my issue with my mic. Because, Narc's smart.
Honestly,
Because Narc's smart.
Yeah, Narc's smart.
I
that would have
guarantee.
been like, actually, wrong chord.
Right.
Yeah.
And he would have the cord with him.
Right.
Yes,
He'd be
yes.
like, just so happen, half chord.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Oh, gosh.
Y'all are so funny.
Already. We starting already.
Yeah. So thank you, Jenny, for rolling with us on today, as my folks like to say, on today.
Because it ain't on yesterday.
Not on yesterday.
No,
but
it's not on
thanks for coming
tomorrow.
to see us on today. Before we get into our discussion and everything, I just want to shout out some folks.
Oh,
our
shit
patrons.
now.
So we're brand spanking new. We do have a Patreon, and we actually have some patrons.
We
and
do.
We just want to let y'all know that we appreciate you all.
We thank you.
Thank you
So
for
we'll
being
just very
a
quickly.
friend.
You fit right in. Lezbi Nerdy, you fit right in with us.
do what I
Oh my
can.
gosh. So shout out. So real quick, thank you, Shelly. Thank you, TT78,
Yes.
Charlie Edmonds, Ashokova, Anya,
Yes.
April, George, Jason Denzel.
Oh,
Ooh,
snap.
you pulling that, you pulling that.
Iman, Spencer,
Hey.
Steven, Screaming Spud Monkey, DT,
Hey.
Light Blinded Fool, Leia, Malkir Talk,
Yay.
Bane and Chiad,
Hi, Bane and Chiad.
Jesus Lord, Dr. Talib
Oh, hey,
Hudson,
Dr. A.
Rob Christensen, Miss K, Melissa J,
Hey, girl.
Go Brother, Mistress Dovey, More Shady, Lumen,
Hey.
Koala Sadai,
Hi. Oh, my gosh, hi.
a Radiopedia.
Hey.
And this is new. Feeling Seasick.
Oh.
I haven't seen that one before. And Gorgo, listen, shout out to y'all.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yes.
way more
Y'all
people than
are-
I anticipated
Yeah.
giving us money just for like acting in a plum ass fool. It's
Right.
crazy.
So you know what? We need to really up our
We
Patreon
do.
game.
We do. We're
don't-
slacking on
We
the
don't have any
pimping.
benefits yet because we don't know what the fuck we're doing. Right.
Right.
So
Right. Please fill out the form, listener, friend, listeners,
Yes,
because we
there's a-
really want to make sure we're giving you,
what you want.
want to give the people what they want.
We will have a link in the description box
Yeah.
with to our link tree, and in that link
Yes.
tree there is a link to this Google form,
Mm-hmm.
the survey. Fill it out. Let us know what you want to receive as
Yeah.
patrons. What would you pay for?
Yeah, I know so far we're getting a lot of my notes, which why the fuck would y'all want that?
They want to see your notes because you're a new reader, and it's cool.
It gets real lazy in some points. You're gonna be like,
all
oh, you started
good.
out so strong. It's like most of my midterm papers.
Ah!
They're like, you started out so strong. That last paragraph, homegirl, that wasn't it. Can you just go on back and redo it?
Hilarious,
So,
hilarious.
thank you, patron.
Thank you,
listener,
patrons.
friend,
Thank you,
friend,
patrons.
listeners.
So yeah,
Yes.
Jordan Con.
Oh, so we're going to be very honest with you. We record kind of, when we can, especially after coming back from JordanCon. So this is our first official recording
Yes.
from really actually having been at JordanCon and experienced JordanCon and having been submersed in JordanCon. And I'm just going to tell you, that was some fun shit. You motherfuckers are
I'm
a
not
good
jealous at all.
time.
I'm not even the littlest tiniest bit
No
jealous.
FOMO. Nothing.
Oh no, we gotta get Jenny into
gotta get you- yeah, we gotta
WoTCon,
get
into
you.
JordanCon.
Yeah.
WoTCon too, but I think you've been to WoTCon,
I've
right?
been to WoTCon. WoTCon was
we
fun.
we are the ones that have not been to WoTCon,
No,
so we
and
are
we're not
slacking on the
going this
pimping.
year either, which kind
I
of sucks.
know we've got a couple of cons that we need. I think we've only just scratched the surface.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we have other obligations.
we do, and I'm excited to go. I know some of them are international.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to go to Mount Carey Con too.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it wrong. I was waiting for you to say it.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah. Shout out to Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Makeba,
Yeah.
please let us know, how was it as a first-time reader who was only up to chapter 20 in the
First book.
first book
Of a 15
being
book
at
series.
Jordan Con?
I had fun dipping and dodging everything. I had fun crying over panels that I could not go to. I had fun looking at costumes and being like, well, what are you dressed as? But I had double fun when I did recognize something, right?
Okay.
Like I saw a lot of Gleeman costumes and I was like, oh, I know what you're supposed to be. High five.
Yeah.
You can have a ribbon.
Did you see the Bella cosplay?
I did not.
Oh, I'm gonna show you a picture. I'll
Because
send you
it was in a panel that I couldn't go to.
Well, no, she was S. Her name is S.
S.
Oh my God, it's S.
Yeah.
Oh
On
my
Twitter.
God, it's S?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, that's cute. You
Yeah,
guys are so creative.
she cosplayed as Bella. I'll show you a picture. I took a picture of her.
Oh, that's
Ah.
I'll show it
fantastic.
to you.
That is fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was totally. It was the best.
Yeah. Oh, see, now I gotta go and find. So I have FOMO, and I was there.
Yeah, that
That's
happens.
crazy. That's
No, that
crazy.
happens. You'll
'Cause you
have
can't do
because
everything.
Yeah, you can't do everything. You'll see other people's pictures.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh damn, I was in the room at that time, or I know people in Atlanta, so when I went last year, I would dip out sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So you don't get to see everything. So you can absolutely have FOMO. I have FOMO from last year because at one point, and I don't know what I was doing. Maybe I was like hanging out with one of my friends or something, or maybe I was just in a room just being, because I'm a social butterfly, but I'm also an introvert too, and sometimes I get tired of peopling. And so maybe it was during the time when I was in my room just trying to get away from folks for a little bit because I needed a break. And all my peoples were hanging out at the picnic table outside, and they took pictures, and they call it picnic table con or something like that. So I have FOMO con for not being at the picnic table, even though I was there during con. So I will say it's a beautiful venue. It is. No, that hotel's very nice. That garden in the back. Yes. I got lost. I went to Starbucks and was just like, well, how do I make my way back over? And I was like, and it's like, it's paths. So I'm like, oh, this path is not the straight path I thought it was. And now I am looping around the property. This is the exercise I didn't want but needed. So here we are. Yeah. It was really cool. Well, I can tell you that what was dope for me was sharing this experience with you. Para me? Yes. Oh, it's mushy time. So I went by myself last year. Yeah. And even though I had a dope time, and everyone what was dope was meeting people in person who I had been interacting with for the past couple of years online. That was super dope and super amazing. But I was alone. Oh. And so you got to share the experience with me this year. So thank you for coming with me, Keba. Thank you. That's it, Jenny. Hey! I sing everything. Just a warning. I literally, it's tragic. And that's why our episodes are 15 hours long, because I'm over here singing. She's singing. We go off on tangents. Yeah.
I once had a student with I'm a teacher, and I overheard some students talking about me, and they were talking about their teachers, and one student was like, well, my teacher's really good because of blah blah blah, and then one of my students was like, well, Jenny teaches, she's really good, and he was saying all the stuff that he really likes about me, and then he goes, oh, but she always sings. Like that's the bad part. Yeah, that's the bad part. That is so funny. Always singing it too. She always sings. There are words I would kids would say, and this particular student, I would see his eyes, be like, don't say that word, because if you say that word, it will remind Jenny teacher or something, and then she'll start singing. Not they blocking your blessing. Hilarious. Come on now. You sing, Jenny. All right, you sing your little heart out. Let me tell you, here at WoT In Color, you can sing to your heart's desire. Sing a song. Sing out loud. Sing out loud. Sing out strong. Yeah. That's right. All right. Well, let's get into the reason why we're here. An hour later. Yes, an hour later, and now we're gonna finally talk about the book. Yeah. All right. So we are in chapters 21 and 22 for today. Yeah. But before we get into the chapter 21 discussion, I just want to make note of something, because Makeba, you've been on your prediction. Yes. I like to predict. You like to predict. I do. You do. That's what I do. You do. So, if you recall, I probably don't, but go on. In chapter 19, Maureen was telling the story about Shar and how it became evil or whatever. The boys had just came back from hanging out with Murder Death Kill, aka Mordeth. Shout out to you, Call Me calls Murder Death Kill. She named her like a bunch of names. His name is Death. Yes, and they're totally fine with that. Yeah, right. And your mom like, oh, hey, more death. What's good? Let me carry these jewels for you. Yeah. So when they got back with the group or whatever, after more death scared the living bejesus out of them, and Lan had left to go look for them, and so Nynaeve was like, oh, because that's my man. I hope he's okay, right? And Maureen was like, nah, he good. Because that's my man. Right. And so Maureen said, so I don't know if you noted this or highlighted it, and we didn't talk about it last week. But Maureen responded, Lan will be well. He was pledged to fight the Dark One before he left the cradle. A sword
placed in his infant hands.
Yeah.
Do you remember Min's vision? So what you said was, so Min's vision, when Min had a vision of a babe in a cradle holding a sword.
Yeah.
When she looked at Lan. And you said that means Lan is Rand's dad.
What the fuck?
I mean, could be.
But Moiraine just said that a sword was placed in his infant hands.
Yeah.
And then before that, if you recall in chapter 18, when they were fighting, when they had like the Trolloc battle and Lan had went to scout to see how many Trollocs there were, whatever.
Yeah.
And Moiraine said, "The light go with you, last lord of the Seven Towers."
Yeah.
And then later on when they were actually fighting and everybody was doing their battle cry and Matt, yelled in the old tongue.
Yeah.
Lan yelled for the Seven Towers.
Yeah.
So tell me, Makiba,
Okay.
what do you think about that? All of that. You said,
I was like,
I'll remind
what?
you said Min's vision of land with 7 ruined towers means that land is holding on to some historical thing that is affecting him in some way. Mm-hmm. And then you also said that Lan has been in battle and lost other 7 tower brothers. And so Lan is the last surviving lord.
Yeah.
You still sticking with that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That sounds accurate.
That sounds, all of that sounds accurate. Para ti?
See.
Okay. And Lan is Rand's dad still?
Well, let me talk to Maury first.
You gotta talk to Maury?
I gotta talk to Maury.
We gotta do a DNA test.
Let me put a pin in that. But that sounds like a wonderful asinine prediction I made on 2 hours of sleep.
Okay.
That's what that sounds like.
So we'll put a pin in that. We'll come back to that later. All right, cool. So last week we ended with Rand, Matt, and Tom on the spray. We've met Captain Bail Dolman.
Ooh, he do
We
be
met him.
interesting.
We do be. We have Perrin, who was with the Egwene, but they got separated in the river somehow, and we had no word of Moiraine, Lan, or Nynaeve, and that's how we ended chapter 20.
Yeah.
Right.
They're dead.
And then chapter 21. Listen to the wind.
Yes.
And look at that.
I don't know if you recall.
I do recall.
But I very much said in our very live episode from JordanCon that this chapter was going to be us catching up with Nynaeve.
Yes, you did say that. You said chapter 21 is a Nynaeve chapter. Mm-hmm. So we're going to put that as a correct. Look at you.
Look, I'm upping my percentage.
Yes.
I'm feeling real
Your prediction
smart.
so far, you want me to tell you where you are?
Yes.
You are at 69.57% correct.
That is really whack.
You were at 66 before, now you're at 69%.
That should have given me more of a percentage.
69 is a great number, though.
Joe said it was also a very good year.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean, my dear.
69 is a very good year.
No.
Okay,
no, we're going to be here.
Let's focus. All right, so we're in Nynaeve's perspective. Mm-hmm. She and her horse were sleeping. She wakes up right at sunrise. Oh, the symbol is a tree branch.
Yeah.
If we notice.
So I'm starting to think that's Nynaeve's tree branch and not Moiraine's tree branch. That's not a prediction. I'm just trying to make some observation. I'm trying to be astute, if you will. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Nynaeve is thinking about how Trollocs came onto her and then they like sniffed in the air and was like, "Nah, you're not the
right.
These are not the droids you're looking for.
Yeah. You smell a woman's.
These are not the humans you're looking for."
Right.
And so she realizes begrudgingly that Moiraine was right about the Trollocs actually wanting the 3 boys. Mm-hmm. So she decides to go downriver. She comes up on Lan and Moiraine and she's trying to hide and she eavesdrops or whatever. And so while she's eavesdropping, Lan talks about how all of the Fades and all the Trollocs that they had with them that they've left. And so they start talking about how is it possible that many Trollocs could be sent so far south? Because the Trollocs come from the Blight. If you look at the map, the Blight is in the very most northern part of this known world. Mm-hmm. And that's where the Trollocs come from. And so they are way further south from the Blight. And so they're wondering, how is it possible that these Trollocs and Fades have traveled all the way from the Blight down to where they were unseen?
Yeah.
What the fuck is up with that? So I don't know if you noted this, and I just wanted to know what your thoughts were. Mm-hmm. Moiraine mentions, and it was capitalized, so this is why I'm noting it.
Okay.
She says that the ways are closed. the ways. It was capitalized. You have any inclination?
Spell it?
Ways, like WAY.
Okay.
The ways.
The ways are closed. I need
Yeah.
the context.
So the context is, how did the Trollocs get from the north, from the Blight, unseen, all the way down here? And she's like, well, I know that the ways have been closed for centuries or whatever she said. And she also mentioned there hasn't been an Aes Sedai powerful enough to travel since the time of madness. And travel is also capitalized.
That's what I asked. Was that capitalized too? Okay, yeah.
It was. Travel was capitalized. And then she said, unless one of the Forsaken is loose. And Forsaken was capitalized as well.
Yeah. So sometimes the punctuation and the grammar, makes a bit of a difference in the. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even take a note of that. I breezed right through that. I was like,
You got any thoughts right now? What she could be talking about? She's thinking about them.
The ways are closed. It's giving time travel.
Okay.
It's giving teleportation.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Okay.
Which is interesting, giving, I don't know, the age where it seems like it's been a recess in technology. They're out there hunting again. So, but I'm interested. I mean, this is all magic, right? So some kind of magical, mystical transportation, teleportation, something.
Something or other. Okay.
Something, yeah.
Okay.
It's important.
It's important. I mean, it's capitalized. I feel like, as we know, capitalization means a proper name. So
Yeah.
She also says, like I said, that there hasn't been an Aes Sedai powerful enough to travel, and travel is capitalized, since the time of madness. Have any idea what it means to capital T, travel?
There hasn't been an Aes Sedai powerful enough to travel. That's the transportation.
Oh, okay. So the ways and traveling are not, they're...
They are not the same.
Okay.
I feel like the ways is like the portal, right? Maybe they can only travel in a specific area or a specific spot. So like, the ways would be like Crotona Park or like Bed-Stuy Ave or something. And travel would be like using... So she said Aes Sedai, right? So the one thing we know for sure about Aes Sedai is that they tap into the one source. And so I'm assuming that when she says travel, it's someone who has the ability to channel this one power in order to travel very, very long distances very quickly.
Okay.
Okay.
So, something or another along those lines of maybe not time, but distance, or maybe both, or some combination. They're on too.
And I'm just writing down what you say.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna remember this.
Yeah.
So it's very important that we take notes.
It's too bad nobody's recording this.
I know, right? It would be kind of cool if this was being recorded. Y'all, I'm so old. Like, side note, and sorry y'all for making this episode even longer. I write down everything because I'm old. Even though we're recording the episode, I have to write down like my notes that I've taken. I don't like. I'm using my iPad, but I'm using the Apple Pencil and physically writing my notes.
Well, it does help
I'm
your
not
memory. Yeah.
typing. Yeah, I'm not typing onto Google Docs or anything like that. Like I'm such an old person. Okay. Another thing that she overhears Moiraine say is that one boy is across the river and alive. The others are downriver, but there's the faint trace of them faded away. The bond has been broken for hours. When you got to that point, before you, because she explains later in the chapter, did you have any idea what she meant when she said,
I immediately
or how she knew?
Thought of the coins.
Did you?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Awesome.
Because
I never thought of the
it was
coins.
very specifically noted that Rand and Mat gave their coins
Right.
to the captain.
Yes.
And Perrin, as far as we knew, still had his coin unless it was floating downriver.
Right.
So when she said, one boy's across the river, the other boys are going downriver, but I can't find them anymore because I lost the trail, I was like, so either she's like sniffing them,
right,
or this has something to do with the coin, right? And I was just like, the coin makes more sense because there was emphasis placed on, right? I'm like, maybe she's like, right, but it was emphasis placed on Rand and Matt giving up their coin, and Tom being like, you assholes! Like, I could have got this for free.
Some shit.
Right? Like, we could have did a little trick real quick. You should have kept your money, but
right.
I feel like it was at that moment they fucked up. So
it was at that moment,
right. So I was just like, oh, okay, so that's what the coins were for.
Got you. Okay, so then after that, and I think that's super dope because when I read that, I had no clue that the coins, like, I was like, oh, okay,
didn't make that connection at all.
Yeah, I was like, oh, she somehow, and then later I was like, oh shit, the coins. Okay. So she suddenly like says, all right, Mistress Alvira, you can come out now. And Lan was pulling out a sword like, oh shit, what the fuck?
Lan losing his touch. Lan is losing his touch.
So Nynaeve comes out and she goes in like, yo, fuck you doing? Right. What you got my peoples wrapped up in or whatever. And Moiraine is so cool. She's like, would you like some tea?
Like, all I could remember in that point was when Lan practically ripped Egwene's head off, and she was like, "I just want some tea." It was like, "Fuck your tea." Right. Now they sitting up here building fires and shit. I was like, "Poor Egwene,
making tea." Egwene not even there to get no tea. Yeah. So Moiraine starts telling Nynaeve that she can wield the one power. Look at your prediction. It is time. Look at your prediction. Look at you. So she says, she can stand face to face with the woman who can touch the true source and know it the same way Nynaeve can sense it in Egwene. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Moiraine starts explaining that her listening to the wind is actually her ability to channel. It was born into her, just like it was born into Egwene. And then she starts explaining what's called channeling sickness. Mm-hmm. And if I may...
Yeah, right.
I would like to...
Direct quotes.
To read. So she said, so I'm in... if you have the Darrow Case Suite cover... Folks, I'm on the bottom of page 320. So she says about the sickness. Well, first she talks about like how she channeled, how she wanted something really badly and it just happened, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe she wanted a pet, maybe a branch suddenly falling where you can pull yourself out of a pond instead of drowning. And then she talks about the sickness. So she says, you felt nothing special at the time, but a week or 10 days later, you had your first reaction to touching the source. Mm-hmm. I'm emphasizing that sentence. Mm-hmm. FYI. Perhaps fever and chills came on suddenly and put you to bed, then disappeared after only a few hours. None of the reactions, and they vary, last more than a few hours. Headaches and numbness and exhilaration all mixed together, and you taking foolish chances or acting giddy. A spell of dizziness when you tripped and stumbled whenever you tried to move, when you could not say a sentence without your tongue mangling half the words. There are others. Do you remember? Now, before we continue, I want to know, does that tickle your brain at all?
Does what specifically tickle?
What I just read. That whole thing that I read. I talked about having dizzy spells, being giddy, taking foolish chances as a reaction to channeling.
Yeah, it's Rand.
Chills. Okay.
That's very specifically Rand. Rand was going through all of that mess, and now he's all of a sudden, out here trying to fight the Israelite whites and acting in ways that he wouldn't before. Yeah, that was very okay. So when you touch the source, sorry, we're not being recorded. I just did a weird hand movement. But when you touch the source, it causes some kind of, it's like your body trying to fight a cold, right? And then your body fights the cold, and then now you're good. So I'm trying to remember if Rand got sick.
So Rand did get sick. He was he kept complaining.
Like his head felt like it was full of cotton, I think was the way he kept saying. Yeah.
Right. Because remember, my prediction
he had a fever also.
My prediction was that he touched the one source when they were running from the Drakkar. He was begging Bella to run.
Right. You did predict that.
So I was like, oh, and then she ran as fast as she could. And then Marina's like, would you look at here? This one is the least tired of them all. I saw he hit it. He touched the tape. He touched it.
You did say that.
He touched the tape.
He touched the tape. Right? On the male side, right? You
and so then right after that, they get to Bearlawn.
And he gets sick. Right? He has the headaches and all of this other stuff. Perrin gets sick too, though.
Yeah, Perrin doesn't get, I think Perrin doesn't get out of bed.
Perrin just stays in bed.
Yeah, because he's not feeling.
He just said he didn't want to come outside and play.
Oh, okay. So he was just being a little punk.
He was tired of peopling. He wanted to.
Oh, he was being an introvert.
He was being an introvert.
I fucked with Perrin. I mean, I still think he gonna fold like origami, but I fucks with him.
So Jenny Makeba said that Perrin is gonna be the first one to be like, I want to go back home.
I'm out.
Yeah.
And he's gonna go back home. Like, let's go back to.
I'm gone.
He's gonna go back home. Yeah, that was one of her predictions. She said he's gonna fold like origami.
Yeah. I mean,
all right. So with that, Nynaeve is realizing, like, damn, son,
she got me.
Right. So she starts telling the story of when she basically healed Egwene.
Yeah.
When Egwene had breakbone fever. And long story short, Moiraine explains why it's best to go to Tar Valon because you could die. You can literally die.
And it sounds like a really horrible death. Like, it doesn't sound like
it does.
Yeah.
She was like, it's not as bad as the men, but it ain't gonna be no fun.
Yeah.
I don't think you want to experience that.
Yeah.
Ain't no coming back.
Right. And then so they were like, oh, guess you're not coming with us, wisdom, right? Because Nynaeve is still on her haughty.
The way I would have had to run her a quick fade. I'm coming, but you're going to get this busted lip first.
Well, she eventually was like, I'm coming. Eventually, she was like, all right, fine, I'm coming. I'm coming with you.
Doesn't Moiraine do like a reverse psychology? Like,
and does, I know that's exactly what I put in my notes.
Yeah, she's like, I guess the wisdom won't be joining us.
Yeah.
So she tried to finesse her. I feel like Nynaeve was supposed to be smarter than that. That's my girl.
If it was Narg, though, Narg wouldn't have.
Narg would have been like, you try if you want.
Right.
Yeah.
So one small prediction, you said that Nynaeve would meet new people.
She didn't meet no
new people.
Damn.
Yeah, so that we'll put that as incorrect.
So now my doggone percentage is going down.
It's all good. It's all good. We got 14 more books to go. Don't worry about it.
You're right. Well, it's very hard to get 100% now.
So
I need my A.
You're such an overachiever. I love you.
Oh, it's so bad. Anyway.
So Moiraine explains about the coins, right? That she gave the boys is how she knew where they were. And she says it's best to follow the two downriver because they lost their coins. So maybe they're in trouble or something. So let's follow them. And of course, Nynaeve is not happy because she's like, well, what about Egwene? And like, yo, I ain't give Egwene no coin, so I don't fucking know about Egwene. Godspeed. Hope she's good. So in the meantime, she had told Lan to, get Nynaeve's horse. And Nynaeve was thinking, he ain't going to follow my horse because, I'm good. And, he came right back with the horse. And then Nynaeve is thinking about how she's the wisdom, she's supposed to protect her people, and it kind of brings a little tear to her eye. And now she's embarrassed because Lan is like looking at. He comes back with the horse, and he's looking at her, and she's like, "Oh my God, did he just see me cry?" And so that's how the chapter ends. It ends with her thinking to herself, Nynaeve thinking to herself, "I can use it, woman. You told me so yourself. I can use it against you." And that's how we end the chapter.
Zero Dark 30. Okay.
Right.
I just,
and then, go ahead.
I was going to say, being in Nynaeve's head is so interesting, I find, because the way, like, you have to look through the layers of what she's thinking to get to what she's actually thinking. Because she's lying to herself a lot. Like, even when she thinks about, I hope, he's laughing at me while I'm crying. Like, she puts on this anger. She's crying because she's sad and she's scared, but in her, like, the words in her head are angry because she's trying to hide the fact that she's sad and scared from herself. It's just
That's your girl.
I'm sticking beside her.
She's my girl too. That's
see.
Yeah.
Team Nynaeve. I should have put my sweater on, but it's way too hot in here.
Yeah, Team Nynaeve.
Team Nynaeve. I am.
Yeah.
So real quick. We'll do chapter 22 really quick because it's a really short chapter.
Yeah.
It's literally like 6 pages.
Yep.
And then we'll
go into everything.
Things. Yeah. So chapter 22 is called A Path Chosen. The symbol is a tree. Is it a tree?
Let's look at it.
What's the symbol? I'm sorry, y'all.
Can you hold it up to the camera? Can I see it? I don't know.
Yes, it's a tree.
It's a tree.
Okay, yeah. It's a leafless tree. Okay.
So the leafless tree, and we are in Perrin's point of view. And it's long after sunrise that he wakes up. So it's slightly after the events of what we just read because Nynaeve woke up at sunrise.
Yeah.
So this is a little bit after. This is long after sunrise. So start paying attention to, since we're in different perspectives.
Oh, you gotta
start paying attention to the time of day and or the number of days because you want to be able to kind of
match things.
track.
Right.
Yeah, you want to match things up. So if you get a Nynaeve point of view and then you say, well, did this happen at the same time that
Right. I'm gonna
X,
do
Y,
that
Z?
a lot. I'm
Yeah,
gonna be very honest.
pay attention to the time. Yeah. So Perrin decides after Perrin is a thinker. So he doesn't. So for 4 pages he thinks, and then the last 2 pages of the chapter he decides to go downriver, and he notices Bella's tracks because he's the blacksmith apprentice. So he makes Bella's shoes. Yeah, he made Bella's shoes. So he notices her tracks, and that's how he finds Egwene. And then they have a conversation about what's best to do, and they decide to make their way to Camelin because the Fades would expect them to go to Whitebridge. And that's the end of the chapter.
I have to say that this one suddenly hit me as funny when I was reading it with Addison recently because those 4 pages where Perrin's just thinking and like he's slowly stalking through the forest because he's like, there could be Trollocs, and then he sees Bella's footprints and he knows that's Egwene, right? So what he like. In my mind, I'm now imagining Perrin's a big guy, so he went from being real to suddenly bursting through the bushes, and like Egwene's just sitting there by herself, like suddenly quiet, and now there's a giant coming at her. Like, it's terrifying.
Right, because she was sitting there eating her cheese and bread on her fire. She was
had her bun and cheese.
Right.
She was eating her bun and cheese.
And
hard dough bread.
Okay, she was enjoying the lapse of luxury, if you will.
Yeah.
So this chapter also made me a smidge of sad because then I realized that Perrin's horse didn't make it.
Yeah.
Perrin's horse didn't make it.
Do we even know Perrin's horse's name?
Was it? No, Cloud was...
Rand is on Cloud.
Cloud is Rand. Bella's Egwene. I don't know Perrin's horse's name.
The nameless horse.
Yeah.
R.I.P. to Perrin's nameless horse.
That's fucked up. Everybody else. Everybody else had right. I'm all like Aldib and
maybe RJ didn't name the horse because
he knew
it was going to die.
Yeah.
I also want to say R.I.P. to like the brain space that is now taken up by the names of horses from the Wheel of Time. Like, I know the names of all these fictional horses. What information is not in my brain because I know that Rand was riding Cloud in Eye of the World.
Right. And you got Maldi,
Maldi,
whatever, and
Mandarb,
Mandarb, Aldib, Bella. I can name horses from later books. Like it's just
and I'm biting my tongue because I'm like, wait, we can't spoil it.
I was like,
you're gonna meet more horses.
Oh yeah,
spoiler alert, more horses are coming. Yes. And you'll know their names.
Yeah, okay. But
so what do you have for us, Makeba?
We lose Perrin's horse. But Bella survives.
Yes.
Bella is the horse that has been touched.
Bella is the horse that has been touched.
Yeah.
By Rand when he channeled.
Oh,
so you're saying that's why Bella survived?
I think, because it sounds like that river was hefty.
Okay.
It sounds like that was a hefty river. Like, Perrin almost didn't make it.
Yeah.
You know, he was out here kicking shit off like, oh no, I'm fitting to drown. The horse drowned.
Yeah.
Bella didn't drown.
Bella saved Egwene. Like, she said, like, because Bella's the one that got her out of the river. She says it. Like,
yep, she said it.
Yeah.
Oh, Bella got that energy in her.
Well, Bella knows these riders, right?
Yeah, but also, like, how many horses are going to be able to swim across a river like that?
I mean,
I don't know horses to be great swimmers.
Right. Because one didn't make it and one didn't. We don't need a pivot table to tell us that.
Oh my gosh. So, what do I have? Oh, and It's Giving. So this is one of my favorite It's Giving And I'm gonna pull a direct quote from the book.
Okay.
This one's called Hope and, right? And I always like these conversations that kind of veer us a smidge away from the book, but into our personal lives a little bit.
Okay.
But Perrin is talking to Egwene. And he says this quote. He says, "Hope is like a piece of string when you're drowning. It just isn't enough to get you out by itself." And that was on page 366. I will cite my sources. So
so you have the newer cover. You have the TV show tie-in cover.
The TV show, is that what oh yeah.
Yeah.
Soon to be an original series on Prime Video. Sure. So yes.
Yeah.
This is
it's not going to be the same because her book has the Raven's prologue.
Yeah, I remember that.
So the page numbers are off.
Different. Yeah.
Yeah. So what is the other thing? Do you agree or disagree with this quote and why? I'm going to read it again.
Yeah.
Please, because I feel like I'm in school now. And I wasn't paying attention.
Put your thinking cap on, Shar. Hope is like a piece of string when you're drowning. It just isn't enough to get you out by itself. What do you think the other thing is? What's the other thing to get you out? It's hope and what?
I think it could be a lot of things. Hope and, like, it can be hope and help. Like somebody, helping you out. Hope and, gumption. Like, I think it'd be a lot of things. If you just like rely on hope, it's like, I don't know, but that old joke about that guy who's on the roof and there's a flood and he starts praying like, God save me, and then someone comes around in a boat and is like, no, you don't need
God's gonna save me.
God's gonna save me. Like,
I'm waiting on God.
I'm waiting on God. Everybody comes to save him and then he dies and he gets up to heaven and God's like, I sent you a boat, I sent you a plane, I sent you all this
right.
stuff. Like, it's like that. Like, it's, if you only rely on hope, it's like you're the dude on the roof praying and then not taking anything that comes.
Isn't there a saying, so I'm not religious at all, but isn't there some quote,
of a mustard seed.
Works without faith is faith without works
is dead.
Is dead.
Yeah.
So it's like you can hope all day and have faith that whatever you're hoping for is going to happen, but if you don't physically do something about your own situation, faith without works. So that's how so I guess I agree with the quote.
Yeah.
Because you can have hope, but you also need to have action, right?
Yeah.
The will to do something about your situation. And you can always hope for the best, but you need to do what you can, control what you can control.
Now, do you think that you can, the and ... part, right? For you, it would be action, right? Can you have the action without the hope and still be successful in whatever it is you're trying to endeavor? Yeah,
I think if you're an extremely practical person, absolutely. If you're extremely practical, you're not hoping for anything. If you're like on the extreme side where you're just logical and you're like, all right, I'm drowning and oh look, there's a branch. Let me try to grab onto that branch and pull myself up. So you bring practical. So I think it's possible. But I think generally speaking, I think most people have a combination of both. So you hope and you also try, and you hope that your trying works.
Yeah. I think hope makes you reach for more. Like if you're just practical, you'll do the next logical step. If you're hopeful, you might like jump ahead a couple of steps. Like you might actually reach for more. You know?
Yeah. Because it might work. It might work if I do this. It's not probable. It's not likely. But hey, I'm willing to take that chance because I don't want to die.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
What do you think?
I was thinking about this. I was on my Perrin.
Okay.
I thought about this for days.
Took you 8 pages of the book.
Took me about 8 pages to be like, So I think that both are extremely important to have. I think in duality and balance, right? Kind of like the yin and yang symbol. Mm-hmm. Kind of like, oh,
you mean the symbol that
say it, Shar.
The symbol that Elon in the prologue.
Oh, yeah. It's like Elon Musk. Why suddenly?
I know, right? Yeah. We talked about that too. We was like, why does it have to sound just like that?
Exactly.
Beelzebub's
cousin,
first cousin, twice removed. Fire Eyes. What do we call him?
Fire Eyes.
I forgot what we called him. But anyway, when he rolled up on Lews Therin had that symbol on his cloak or whatever.
Yeah. So I think it kind of works in tandem. Like they support and rely on each other to work. Like just hope alone will not work. Just action alone will not work. And so if you're reaching for something and you're doing one or the other, you will eventually, well, I don't want to use the word fail, because as Giannis Antetokounmpo from my basketball fans said, there's no such thing. There's no failure. There are steps to success, right? Like you only, and Kobe, right? You only fail if you stop trying. Right. And so I'm so reluctant now to use the word failure, but if you're just relying on one or the other, it's going to take you a longer time to get to the thing that you're trying to accomplish. And so if you take anything away from this, and here's our TED Talk. Use both wisely in tandem together in a harmonious, conjunction to achieve your goals. Thank you.
That's solid advice, Nynaeve.
Oh, thank you so much. So one of the other things that I wanted to talk about was the conversation, obviously, that Nynaeve and Moiraine had, where, listen, if I don't kiss it out, it sounds real choppy. I sound like I'm going, Moiraine. Like, it just sounds, Moiraine. Like, I can't. So the conversation that they had where Moiraine is breaking down to Nynaeve that, yes, sister, you are in fact a sister. And, you have this incredible ability, regardless of how you want to shun it or disregard it or not accept it. And, that makes me think about coming to terms with things.
Accepting
things, right? What is something in your life that took you a long time to accept about yourself? I'm gonna let Jenny go first, because she was like, actually.
This scene resonates with me so much. There's a reason I asked to come on for this chapter, because this scene resonates with me so much because of that. Like the way Nynaeve reacts and the way it's revealed to her and she has this recoil and then she's like, please don't tell anybody. Like, it totally reminds me of, like, I didn't come out fully until I was 25 and didn't start dating women until much, much later than that. Like, I was a very late bloomer because I grew up so religious, right? I have memories of knowing I was gay from when I was 9, but I didn't, fully accept it until that moment. And that feeling of being incredibly vulnerable about something, like realizing that something is true. And, in the world of the Wheel of Time, channeling is something that is, people don't generally think of it. A lot of people generally don't seem to think of it as a good thing, but it is in and of itself. It's like it's a neutral or a good thing. Like it's power. Whatever.
It just is.
It is. And that's what, the way Nynaeve reacts to it just reminds me so much of that feeling I had of, there's this thing about me that I know is true and I don't want to believe it's true. And everything's telling me that it's true. And I have to just handle that. So it hits me. The scene hits me.
Ooh.
Wow. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah.
I mean,
I appreciate that.
No
because
problem.
then you had to, and stop me at any point. But I feel like you had to go through a lot of unlearning, because you said you grew up
super religious,
in a religious setting. So you had to go through a lot of the unlearning of what you were told about yourself, not even realizing that it was targeting you. In order to be able to live more freely.
Oh yeah. Like when I say I came out, it's one of those things that people assume it mean, like I said, I didn't, the first time I kissed a woman I was 33. I came out when I was 25. I first knew I was gay when I was 9. Like, it was really everything took me a really long time because of that unlearning and that having to process it. And for a while, I'm not religious anymore. I still have a lot of respect and love for my faith. Like, it's one of those things, if I think about it too much, I miss it. I kind of, there's beauty in Christianity. I know a lot of people from the outside, you don't see it, but in the inside of it, there's awful things, but there's this feeling of being fully known and fully loved at the same time that you kind of don't really have if you don't believe in an omnipotent being that knows everything about you, because no other human can know you fully that way. We live our lives trying to be known as much as possible, and that's the journey that a lot of us go on in our relationships with people, but the idea at least in Christianity, I can't speak to any other religions, but is that you are fully known and you are fully loved. And that's a feeling that I miss. But I'm not religious now, but I spent a long time trying to figure out how to make it work. Like how to make my faith and who I was work. And like the frustrating thing about it was, as much like I loved my faith, I couldn't change who I was. Like that was the one thing I could change, was the one thing that I was wanting to hold on to so much. And it actually, just to make this clear, it wasn't my being gay that made me lose my faith. There was a whole bunch of other stuff that made me lose my faith. I held on to it for a very long time, and then just a bunch of things in life slapped me in the face and changed my belief systems. Had literally nothing to do with that. So, But anyway, yeah. So this scene hits me hard. All that to say. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
That's intense.
Yeah.
Right? Because how long were you in your faith?
Until it happened in Korea. So 33, I moved to Korea when I was like, so maybe 6 or 7 years ago, I lost my faith.
Oh, wow.
So this is still real time happening.
Yeah.
Still kind of fresh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
I wish I had anything else to say, but
I don't have any. I don't have any faith.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't recall, I'm sure I'll think about it like tomorrow or something, but I can't recall for me a time where I felt like I had to just accept something that was true about myself, that I was like fighting. All the things that I've accepted about myself, I don't think I've ever fought.
Okay.
So the acceptance of these things came naturally to you.
It was kind of like revelations. So I'm polyamorous. That was a revelation. It was nothing that I fought,
You just said, okay.
I didn't say, oh my God, my community is, cause there are people who don't, who think polyamory is bad. And, there are religious people who think polyamory, or whatever, but monogamy is not I'm not monogamous. This is not who I am. And it just took me time to realize that. So not really like Nynaeve, where she's fighting, like she knows this is true, but she doesn't want it to be true, but then she had to kind of accept it, like, damn, this is true. I don't really have any experience with that.
I'm trying to think. I know I wrote the question, but I did not parent this one.
You didn't parent it? You didn't take 10, 15 pages?
No, because I was stuck on the other one. I was stuck on hope.
You're still thinking about hope.
Right. And so, I don't know, for me, I think I'm in the same boat with you, right? Like, it's more like this is a thing about me that I hadn't realized before. What does it mean, right? I'm a maybe not as paralyzed as Perrin, but I'm also I like to think of myself as a critical, kind of analytical thinker, where I will get a piece of information and it's not good or bad. Nothing really hits my gut as good or bad, right? Except for like drastic things like a death or, something like that has like a high shock value. But if it's like, I'm getting a piece of information, your shoe was untied, right? That's not good or bad.
It's just a fact.
Right? It's just a thing, right? And so now that I have this thing, what do I do with it? How do I process it?
Right.
Where does it go? What does it mean for me? How do I use it, right? And so as you can see, that may take a long time. I might stand there for 20 seconds before I'm like, oh, girl, tie the shoe so you don't trip and die, right? So, but I say this all the time, I'm about to get in my woo-woo bag, but I work in the world of energy, right? And energy is not good. It is not bad. It just is.
It just is, yeah.
And it presents itself to you as such, and it is up to you to determine what it is. And a lot of times I realize that people kind of will get hit with an energy or get hit with information, and based on their mood, right, or based on where they are, right, in their life is how they will perceive that energy, and then that is what allows them to make decisions, whether it's detrimental or otherwise. And so for me, I had to really learn to like take that beat when I'm getting information and try to figure out what this means to me, for me. How do I use this? How do I use this for good, right? Is this a part of a greater picture, right? Or is this just something for me and my personal growth, right? Like, what does it all mean? And so as much as I love Nynaeve and I related to that scene, and I'm not sure why I specifically related, I have to reflect on that. But when she was going through the what? Me? Nah. I know when I was younger, I would get told things like, you're so smart. It would take me a second. And not because I didn't believe that I was smart, but I just didn't understand what that meant.
Okay.
Smart to who? Smart in what sense?
Yeah.
How do I use smart? Right? Like, what does it mean to be smart in the 3rd grade?
Right.
You know, we're learning primary colors and multiplication. What does that mean? Smart.
Yeah.
In this context, what if I'm trying to be smarter than this, right? You know, so it's I've always been that kind of like processor, but never to the point where I'm just like, no, I'm not smart. Just like smart. Define smart, right? Like, I'll do that to you all the time. Like, define right? Like, define these things. Like, what are you what value are you specifically placing on this? And then I ask myself, do I have the same value? Are our value systems aligned? Are our value numbers the same? And then from there I can go, girl, I've been smart, or like, you know, no, I'm not smart in this area, so like I need to improve. But at the end of all of that, I want to say I'm proud of Nynaeve for the way that she handled that, because I really thought she was going to swing. I really thought we was going to get, like, WWE, like, she's going to hold Maureen's head underwater. It's going to be a whole thing, because it's hard to hear information that you're not prepared to hear, especially when you already preconceived it as a bad thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? And so now I'm really interested to see how Nynaeve journeys out of unlearning all of the things that she thought she knew as fact, that guided her decisions, that guided her life, that she's been wrong about, right? Or that, go ahead.
That's the thing about this meeting. That's the other thing about this conversation that I identify with, is just Nynaeve's level of insecurity, where Moraine has proved her, by the end of this conversation, Moraine has proved her wrong 3 times. Yeah. And like in a big way. Like the first one happens the night before. Like she said, she's walking around and the Trollocs ignore her. And she's like, oh, fuck, Moraine was right. Like, sorry, I just made a bunch of noise while I said that. So,
no, it's okay.
But that for her, what that means is the whole reason she chased after them was because like Moraine stole these kids and now they're in danger. And it turns out, oh, fuck. No, if I'd had my way, they probably would have died because Moraine's right and I wasn't able to save them. And then Moraine's like, you can challenge. She's like, fuck no, I can't. Oh, damn it. She's right about that. And then
and then she's still trying to swallow that first pill.
Yeah, she's still
when she gets the information.
It's all back to back.
It's all back to back. And by the end, she's like, well, what about Egwene? She's like, we can't go to 2 directions at the same time. Like and it's like, it's everything that she throws at her. It's back. You're right. Like, it's back to back, one right after the other. Of nope. Like Moraine has come in, and I've said this in a video that you can't watch, but like Moraine came in and did Nynaeve's job, and did it better than Nynaeve could do. And Nynaeve is trying her best. Like Nynaeve's not half-assing it. She's got her whole ass in there, right? She's trying everything, and Moraine just walked in. And now I don't think Moraine did it with like no problem, but from Nynaeve's perspective.
Right.
She just waltzed in.
She's just gallivanting.
Yeah. And doing the job better than she
handled it. And
fuck land. Fuck them, Nynaeve. That's your best revenge.
Oh, snap. Just fuck land.
Fuck the water, girl. Fuck him. That'll teach her.
If it's Daniel Henney, though.
I'm doing it anyway.
I mean.
Sorry, Dr. H.
Have mercy. Wow. Yeah. So... And even, but what I also loved about Nynaeve is not one to, even in her defeat, she's not defeated.
Not laying down. She's not laying down.
Yeah.
the very last, the very last sentence of that chapter, she's like, all right, she's thinking, all right, you said it yourself. I have this power. Yeah. And I'm gonna figure out how to use it against you.
Right. Which is like wild because what the fuck?
Right. Because she's still not trying to, she still hasn't fully accepted. Yeah. I think she's accepted what has been proven to her. Yeah. But she still feels like Moiraine is an enemy.
Yeah, she feels like Moiraine did it to her. Like Moiraine did it to her. Which again, I don't think Moiraine did like Moiraine. But as much, I love Nynaeve, but girl, you got a chip. It's on a chip. You gotta.
Well, it's the trauma. Yeah, it's the block. She has a block.
So Makeba seems to think that Nynaeve has a trauma block. That prevents her from channeling.
I see what. Oh, you've thought that before this.
She did. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's in one of our predictions. Yes.
All right.
Listen, I can understand energy, right? I understand the energy that someone moves in when they are when they are not able to move energy through their body, when there's a buildup, right? Okay. It's a lot of anger, it's a lot of trust issues, and I know this because I have been there, right? And it's a lot of hurt and it's a lot of pain, right? And it's a lot of proving yourself, right? I need to protect people because I wasn't protected myself. And so I'm going to make sure that if I'm ever in a position, my people are straight. I recognize that I've been there. And that has all been straight trauma responses from abandonment issues and all kinds of other things. And so that kind of trauma causes a block where you can't move into greatness. And for Nynaeve, it's moving in an ability to be able to really channel, or it's clear she's touched the source, right? So she can touch it, but maybe she can't channel in the way that any Egwene can with training or whatever, right? Because she's just not in a mental space where she can even accept that she has this power and it can be used for good. So like this is it's all just it all makes sense to me. Para me. You know? I don't have to tell me I'm right. I know, I see it. I understand. I am Nynaeve in this moment.
She also has like an intense level of insecurity. Again, this is one of those things I noticed this time around. When Moiraine is explaining it to her, she's like, don't you remember when I met you and then I suddenly asked you if you were the wisdom? And when they hear it from Nynaeve's perspective, the way she describes Moiraine is very much this woman wearing the most beautiful dress I'd ever seen. Yeah. It's very much a case of I was intimidated by her, and then she called me a child, and it was like Nynaeve. She's got some issue. I love her to death. I love her to death.
She's very hurt by something. And again, she's orphaned at a young age, right? She's apprenticed to Mistress Baron, who does not treat her the kindest or the nicest, right? We meet in the Ravens prologue, at least, right? We meet her, and she's like chastising Nynaeve.
Yeah, so in the Ravens prologue, Nynaeve bandaged up somebody, and Mistress Baron came by to like look at her work, and she completely took off the bandage that Nynaeve had put and redid it. And so Nynaeve was like,
and Egwene is watching.
Like, oh my God, I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Right. So she's embarrassed. It doesn't feel like she's getting the encouragement.
And she's been made the wisdom, and she's really young, and it seems like nobody's listening to her. Like, everybody's talking. They need to put some respect on her name. Yeah, exactly. So she's having, she's got a lot to deal with.
She's got a lot going on. So a lot of trauma there. And again, I see no therapist in the known world. Not a one.
No social worker.
Right. There's nobody to just be like, hey, Nynaeve, how are you feeling? No one has asked that woman how she's feeling, except for Lan, where he was like, baby, I got some wine. It's chilling. I just pulled it out the cooler. What you want to do? Like, I was like, come on, smooth operator. He's so stupid. It's the only person who has been like, you need a drink of water.
When they was in Bearlawn, and he was like, so now that you see your people are safe, maybe you'll take this now. He had like something to drink for her or whatever. Yeah, she was all blushing. Yeah.
Meanwhile, everybody's like, how are your dreams, Rand? And like, come on. Like, I get it. He's the oddball out with the red hair. And he's probably, you know, not probably. I think it's pretty obvious that he's the one that, you know, Beelzebub's cousin is looking for. But like, I want somebody to just hug her.
She needs a hug.
She needs a hug.
Nynaeve absolutely needs a hug.
And I think that's part of the reason why
she needs a sisterhood crew.
And I think that's why she...
Of her peers, though.
Right, but that's what I was going to say. I think that's why she kind of like
I imagine that the woman circle, which she takes charge of, I imagine all of these women are like old enough to be her mom
for sure.
or whatever.
Yeah. So
she doesn't have any contemporaries. And even Egwene is kind of younger. They're just a few years younger. So like there's no one in her age group.
But I was going to say that's why she probably like clings to Egwene so much, because she's like a little sister. She's like, oh, the wisdom, right? Because remember, Egwene has some steps to success here.
Right.
She was like the best water carrier ever, and then she was going to get her hair braided before anybody ever before first.
Right.
And then now she's like, what? I can be apprenticed under, I could be a wisdom? I'm going to be the best wisdom ever, right? And then
now she's like, oh, I can be an Aes Sedai?
Yeah.
Right. So
now the braid coming out her hair.
And she's losing Egwene, right? Who was the one person who like looked to Nynaeve for everything.
Yes.
You know, Egwene loves a leader.
Yes.
And now she's losing that person. And not only is she losing that person who she loves and who she healed, and she's losing that person to a motherfucking Aes Sedai.
Yeah.
Right.
You motherfuckers with your little wieldy powers.
Or she's losing Egwene to the fact that Egwene is a leader in her own right.
Yeah.
Right. It could be.
And does not want to be stifled. Like, I feel like even with, well, I can't really get into that yet. That'll be next week.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it next week.
Okay.
I have a question I want to ask, but I don't. I'm trying to, because I have too many Eye of the Worlds in my head.
Yes.
so I don't. Could you take your headphones off for just like 2 seconds, Keba? Yeah, just 2 seconds. Did they have the scene? Like, have you been to the scene with the dance where they're dancing in the inn?
In Baerlon,
like, that was in Baerlon, right?
That was in Baerlon. Yeah, that was in Baerlon.
So you already had that scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
When they were like, oh, you danced. Oh, I danced with Moiraine. I danced with Nynaeve. Yeah.
That's the other one I want to. I just too many.
Yes.
Okay.
You can go back.
Oh, yeah. Woo! Took me a little trip to the store.
Yes. Sorry.
That's so funny.
It's just I get too many Eye of the Worlds in my head at the moment. But the other thing, like you're talking about her needing peers, when they were in that dance in Baerlon, right? Like Nynaeve is out there. She's dancing. She dances with the boys who had never seen her dance before.
Because she's the wisdom.
She's the wisdom, which like it kind of breaks my heart as well. Like she obviously likes dancing. But because of her position, pretty much everything that she does in Emond's Field, like Emond's Field is her place of work. So her whole life is she has to be professional in her entire life. Like every day she wakes up and she's out where people can see her, she's working. Like she's always working. So the minute
she's always
she leaves,
on task.
Yeah, always on task. The minute she leaves town, she's like, I can dance, and everybody's shocked by that. Like it's what like she's really isolated because she doesn't have peers in Emond's Field. The closest she had was Egwene, and she was trying to train her up to become her peer.
Right, and then also Nynaeve had to grow up fast. Again, orphaned at a really young age, and she was the wisdom at a really young age.
Yeah.
So she's been on task since she was like
however old she was on her parents' side.
Yeah, and so
she
didn't get to have that childhood where she could just, run around and celebrate Beltane and,
she probably didn't, whatever rite of passage girls go through. It probably looked very different for her.
I assume she wasn't on the marrying path.
Yeah.
Did she ever dance
in the spring pole? Did she? She probably never danced the spring pole. She probably was already, like, all right, now you're a wisdom.
Expected to be married.
Exactly.
Right?
So she's not going to dance the spring pole.
She's not dancing the spring pole. She's not looking for a husband because you got healing to do.
Right.
You got crops to predict. You got weather and wind to listen to.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Nynaeve.
Right. Somebody just hug her.
She definitely needs a hug.
The second Lan puts his arms.
She probably stands stock still.
I was gonna say the second Lan puts his arms around her, she ain't gonna know what to do. Touched by a man.
If Lan would do that, Lan is so
But that's why they match so well. Because he'd probably be like, one hand up, one hand down. Do they both touch in the middle of your back? I don't know. She's probably just like, do it and get it over with. Like, just
Well,
I hope they get
two
together.
times we've seen Lan flustered thus far is when, like, earlier on when Nynaeve's like, I tracked you. And he's like, what? You tracked me?
Yeah.
And he was
so impressed.
And in this chapter when, like, Moraine's like, Mistress Almira, and he's like, wow, where's my sword? Like,
right.
She's the only one who's caught him off guard so far is Nynaeve.
Right. Yep. And probably his whole life.
Probably.
His whole life, he's never been caught off guard.
He had the sword in the cradle.
That
man was never caught
he
slipping.
He was born with a sword in his cradle.
Never caught slipping.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
I hope he had a bottle of milk in there too. Like, sheesh. You know, you're going to eat this iron and this Similac. Like, I need gotta do both.
Oh my God.
Both.
That's a question. Did Lan
have do we ever, and don't raffle me, please. I find that weird.
Well, if you ask a question that you'll find the answer out later, we're gonna rafle you. Sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead, ask your question.
I'm gonna ask it anyway. I'm gonna just roll my eyes. But do we ever find out about Lan's upbringing and his parents and
Rafo?
Okay, so that means that means yes, we do. That means eventually in
maybe
book,
we do, maybe we don't.
Yeah.
Book 10.
Maybe the whole point is that you never know.
Never know.
I roll. I'm still gonna have to say it as I do it.
I can tell you this. I'll give you this spoiler. There are, and it's not really nothing at all. You're gonna be so mad at me when I say what I'm saying. There are some questions that we don't have answers to.
Yeah, it's a
period, and we'll never know.
I'm disgusted with you.
This is why people are still talking about the books, though. If the books answered all the questions, then everybody would be like, close the book and be like, okay, boom, next series.
Just go to page, whatever, and find the answer. But there are quite a few things that we still speculate on, and we'll never have those answers. So just know that every time you get Rafoed, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to find the answer. Sometimes you may not find
Why
the answer.
can't you just tell me that I'm never going to find the answer?
Because that's going to spoil it for you. You got to read all 15 books to find out.
Baby.
You got it. We did it. You got to do it too.
Yeah.
15 books.
This is the process. This is the initiation process.
Oh my gosh.
Into the Wheel Time fandom.
This is nuts.
You got to go through it. And then, once that happened, those things that we never find out about, then we can all speculate about it and create our own little fan fiction about.
Yep.
Okay.
And then,
I'm good for coming up with a theory.
Then somebody who has access to all of, the Jordan's estate can write a book called Origins of the Wheel of Time. And then we get some answers. So we got some answers. That book, Origins, that I told you can't ever think about looking at, touching, don't even think about it. Written by Michael Livingston. He answered quite a few questions. He answered some questions for us because he had access to Robert Jordan's notes. So we get things like, how did he come up with these names and all of those things, like his actual original notes and things like that. So there are a couple of things that we do get answered, and there are still things that we will never know about because it's not in the Jordan archive or,
Is there fanfic?
Oh yeah.
And is the fanfic good?
I
mean, I know that's subjective, but in your opinion,
there's gonna be good and there's gonna be bad. Like this, you just gotta find the ones that.
Okay, when this journey is done, point me in the, because I feel like the writer in me, right, wants to write something to this.
I think you should. I think you should write some fan fiction. And I think we can offer that as a Patreon benefit.
Oh, snap. I mean, don't get excited, listener friend listeners, because I'm literally still in the middle of book one. It'll be like 10 years
before you start writing.
I'm like, all right, got all the information I need. But interesting. I think I might, because I'm still seething at you all for not.
You can write fan fiction now because it's fan fiction. You don't necessarily have to.
I would like to write accurate and good Because if I wrote something right now, it's not going to be good. Why? Because I haven't even finished book 1. And they're like, actually, you are talking about something that was in chapter 52.
That,
like, if you would just keep reading.
You just kept reading.
Yeah, like that happened, and that's not what happened, what you wrote. It's not, it's wrong.
It's fan fiction, so it doesn't have to, it's fiction. It doesn't have to.
I need Tam's backstory. Who is people? Who is mom and them? I don't think he's from the Two Rivers. I don't care what you say.
Oh, Jesus, Christmas. We've had this debate, Jenny.
I know. I've heard this one.
Yeah, Makiba thinks I'm a dark friend. She thinks I'm lying to her. Yeah. I'm telling her Tam is from the Two Rivers.
His mom and them is not from the Two Rivers.
Tam Althor is from the Two Rivers. And he went out and came back with a baby.
Okay.
And an Outlander wife.
Okay.
That is fact. That is not me trying to trick you. Like, she doesn't.
Is that in the origins? Is it in the origins?
It doesn't need to be.
It doesn't need to
be. She Bibling me right now.
Yes. Quran in you.
All of that. Okay.
That is fact. Like his family name is Althor. You have Bran Alvear, like Al is
that's an Emmonsfield thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Or it's a Two Rivers thing, actually. Because you got Will Alcine.
Yeah. Nynaeve Almira.
From wherever. He is from the Two Rivers. He left. He did leave. And he came back with an illegitimate child.
Illegitimate.
This child he just picked up.
Just random baby that he found. Yes, that is true. So he had so the thing about Tam is because of his experience outside of the Two Rivers, he's a little more well read than the rest of the folks in Two Rivers, because it's not commonplace for people in Two Rivers to leave the Two Rivers. It's not what they do. They're from the backwoods. They don't have anything to do with the outside world. They live their life. Merchants will come in, and buy their wool.
Apparently peddlers.
And their tobacco. And peddlers will come and sell their wares. But other than that, no one leaves the Two Rivers. And so the fact that Tam left the Two Rivers and came back home with a wife and this baby, that's very remarkable. And it's very notable. And it's different, and who knows what he experienced. So the story, for me, the story is not, well, what's his backstory? We know he grew up in the Two Rivers. For me, the story is, what the fuck happened?
What did he do?
While you were away from the Two Rivers. That's the story.
Oh, I'm sure I'm more than positive we get to see that, because that's where he picks up the motherfucking, savior of the universe. So like. Yeah, I'm sure that's touched. So I'm just waiting. It's probably in the middle of the series. That's somewhere in book, I don't know, 7.
Book 7, we're gonna find out.
Book 7, we're gonna find out what happened on Tim's crazy adventure.
And it's Rumspringa.
Yeah. So, all right.
Yeah.
Still think I'm a dark friend? Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. You and the peddler.
Me at damn.
You and the peddler. You just out here spreading gossip.
I'm all dirty and stinky and rags and stuff. Oh my goodness.
Just Moraine ain't beat your ass yet.
Poor peddler. He's all been traumatized.
Right.
Somebody beat his ass, and I don't think it was Trollocs.
You don't think Trollocs beat his ass?
I don't think Trollocs beat his ass. Because if Trollocs beat his ass, Trollocs would have ate him. There'd be no more peddler.
Maybe no more peddler.
He'd be soup. He'd be Trolloc feces spread amongst somebody's walls. He'd be passed through by now. I feel like their digestive system is a little different. It might take them a couple of days. Yeah, it might take them a couple of days to
digest bones.
Pull a full human through their system, disintegrating bones and flesh and shit.
Oh my Lord.
But so I'm like, I think Lana Moraine got to that ass and he beat feet.
Yeah, she thinks Fane is a dark friend.
That's what I feel so bad for the poor guy. Like, he barely escaped till all of his stuff got just like
burned down his poor little wagon.
Yeah,
and now he's a bum in the street in Berlon.
Wait, was it? Was it his horse that died? Because remember, they took his horse.
No, they have his horses.
No, I think they still have his horse.
They still have his horse.
Okay.
Master
His horse-
Alvear is taking care of his horses.
Rand was like, don't worry, they'll have your, like, you just gotta go back. Cause
You just gotta go back and get your horses. They're there.
Right. He did say that. Okay.
Yeah. So she thinks, in addition to him being because he's a dark friend, so she thinks he's a dark friend. She thinks that because he's a dark friend, Moiraine Land tortured him or something, and that's why he was ragged in the streets of Barrymore. That's why he was all stinky and funky or whatever.
Because he smells bad. He's a dark friend.
Yeah.
This poor man who probably just saw the Trollocs and ran because that's the smart thing to do.
Right.
Poor man.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah. He too gossipy. He was gossipy.
He was gossipy.
Well, he's a peddler. That's what they do.
He peddles in tales and wares.
Yeah.
Sell me
and
my
pins.
pins.
Sorry.
And be on your way.
Poor Dave. That was Dave Conger, right? Asking for the pins.
You know she ain't get them pins. She never got a pin. And he is paying for that as we speak.
Yes. The Trollocs attacked before
She's like, I don't give a shit. Where are my pins?
Where are my pins,
I sent you out for pins.
Right.
I don't want to hear shit about a Trolloc. Nothing.
Bring back no goddamn pins.
You ain't bring my pins. So you know what? Your britches will just fall.
Pins are made of
they
metal,
will not be mended. Yes, that's it. That's good for you.
And he was stressed too. He came out there like shit all burnt up, and he was like,
this
sifting
is
through
crazy.
the weather
like, yo, I need my pins.
He dipped. Is his wagon in the back? Do you know if he left? I just need like 3 pins.
I just need look, it's only gonna take 2 seconds.
Just 3 pins. She just won 2 pins. I'm gonna bring an extra pin. Right. She just need 3 pins.
Hilarious. Oh my gosh. Okay, Makiba. Do you have any more themes for us?
I have one more, but where are we on time? Because
so we've been recording for a very long time. This episode is going to be like 29 hours long.
Oh gosh. So
you can skip it if you like, and if you have any sis be steadfast or water and shade.
You know I have a sis. Ta. Be steadfast.
Sister, be steadfast. All right. Who is your advice for?
Nynaeve.
Of course.
I knew
My
it.
fave. I understand how scary it can be when someone spots something in you never thought you had. And your fear wants you to deny everything you know when your gut is right. And I know that feeling too. But from one powerful woman to another, your gut is never wrong. And you know this. I want to challenge you to consider this information before you disregard it because of the source. I have learned, which I'm sure you will at some point in this series learn too, that the universe will send us our lessons in any way that it can, and sometimes that even means sending us our truth through the source of something or someone that we would never be associated with. The who is not always as important as the what. The more you trust this journey that you are on, the more you will be able to stand in your power. No, I didn't say the easier the journey will be, because that is not always the truth. But the more you learn about yourself, the more meaningful this journey will be. And if it makes you feel any better, Lan took way longer to find your horse than he would anyone else's horse. So you are still and always will be that girl.
I love it.
That is my be steadfast para
Yeah.
Para ella.
Para ella.
I love that.
Yeah.
Makiba, you are the social workers for this world. They don't have therapists.
Yeah,
you are the therapist.
There, so you are that for them. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you.
They can't afford me.
They can't afford you.
One of
Baby, the amount of work that would need to be done.
Oh,
yes, yeah. These folks got a lot of issues.
Oh, Lan's gonna have to dump the unlimited bag of gold at my feet, and that's just for him. I don't know what you're gonna do about the rest of your crew, but I got you booked on Mondays.
Clearly, Lan got an unlimited. Like everybody they run into, Lan pulling out bags of gold. Like
so
you ain't seen nothing.
Right? They just make them. Do they just make them in the sack? Right. Unlimited supply of gold. That was very strange to me. But
hilarious.
What about you, my dear?
I knew that you would have something for Nynaeve, so I didn't prepare. I was like Makiba is gonna give Nynaeve some advice. So I don't.
What about some watery shade?
Water and shade. I honestly
shady water, if you will.
Shady water. I honestly don't have any shade for anybody because I feel like Nynaeve took it like a G. Like she was presented with this truth and she was like, fuck, all right. Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, she tried to insist, you know, that these were all lies and fairy tales, and finally she just succumbed and was like, all right, yeah, you right and stuff.
or whatever.
Yeah, you right or whatever. So I don't really have any shade to throw at anybody. Perrin's chapter was way too short.
Yeah.
The whole 6 pages he was just thinking.
Yeah.
About some things.
I will give some shade to myself when I read these chapters, like Perrin and Nynaeve. I would have been dead. Like the Trollocs could have left me alone. Perrin's out there like making fires, and Nynaeve's like hobbling her horse and sleep, like remembering to sleep with the horse's rein.
She wrapped
Yeah.
Yes. That reminds me when I'm on a train. If I'm on a train, especially the 2 train because it's trash, and I got my purse or something, like that's why if I feel like I'm gonna fall asleep on a train, whatever I'm carrying, I wrap it around. I'm like, you're not robbing me.
No.
Nope.
Like, I would have died. And they're literally when they meet up, like they have things in their pockets for surviving in these environments, and I'm just. These kids, I shade to myself for not like dropping me off in these woods and be like, okay, tell my family I love them. It's just, this is where I'm buried. Like right now,
I probably wouldn't have even thought to make a fire. I'd have been like, man, it's cold. Damn.
What should I do about that?
I ain't got no spare clothes.
Yep.
I got to feed the horse. I don't even know how to feed the horse. Yeah,
kids,
so
that's my shade. That's my shade. I am weak.
I am not equipped for this age.
No, definitely not.
So I don't really
have any water and shade either. I think everyone between these 2 chapters were just
you know why you didn't have water and shade?
Because they in the desert.
Because you didn't. There wasn't a Matt chapter.
Oh,
if this was a Matt chapter, you would have been.
Who's that?
I got some leftover shade from last chapter. Just some leftover shade.
Your favorite person.
Trash. What a horrible character. What a horrible. character.
Makiba got to the point where she's like, I don't even want to talk about Matt no more.
Nope. He not on my radar. I don't know about nobody else.
She's like, I can't stand him so much that I'm not going to talk about him no more.
Done with him. No more. No more of that.
All right.
Poor Matt.
Poor Matt. Man,
I'm sorry.
Man.
Don't get us started, right?
Listen. We're not doing this on today.
Not on today.
Not on today, not on tomorrow.
All right.
Yeesh.
Hilarious. Hilarity. All right. So, you got any predictions, my love?
Predictions.
You got to sing it.
I was about to say, I'm like,
sing it.
This is one of the reasons I want to be on here. You got to sing the song.
Right.
Oh, now she gets to see all my weird faces as I try to figure out, is this in key? I don't know what that means. And I'm all stuffy. All right, hold on. Keba's asinine predictions.
I love it.
I love it.
Oh my God, I love it.
That was fantastic.
I'm just channeling my inner lounge singer.
It is definitely 1922 right now.
Don't get me started. You know I love the 20s. My favorite era in history ever. I'm just, I'm channeling my inner Carnival Cruise worker.
Yeah.
No, not Carnival Cruise. You got a residency in Vegas, boo.
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh, Usher better watch out.
Right.
All
right. So go ahead. What's your predictions? Predicciones.
So I don't have a lot, but what I have, I think I'm accurate in. So I'm going to say them. I think Sticky Fingers.
Matt?
AKA Matthew Al, whatever his.
We don't know his name yet. We know his name, but we haven't. Have we said his name? I don't think we've actually said his full name. We know his full name, but I don't think so far. Okay, so I won't say it because we haven't said it yet.
Is it not Matthew or Matt?
Matt is short. It's short.
It's short.
Yeah.
For Matt.
Bartholomew.
Just go.
It's short for Bartholomew.
Just
Bartholomew.
Oh my God.
Listen, if Bart can can be short for Bartholomew, and that's who I get when I read Matt. Why not? Let's call him Matholomew. And we call him Sticky Fingers.
Sticky Fingers. All right, so what's up with Sticky Fingers?
I think Sticky Fingers is going to steal back the coins that they gave the captain. And the captain will be a new foe that they have to worry about on their journey to Tarvalon.
He's gonna be all Scooby-Doo on them. He's like, I do be looking for my coin.
I do be believing y'all gave me some silver coins that's not in my... Why do I keep making noise on this table? That be missing.
That do be missing.
That do be missing now.
Okay.
I think that Egwene is going to butt heads with Perrin as he learns how to be a leader. And as she learns how to make decisions on her own without the influence of someone to tell her what to do.
Okay.
And I think this is more of a hope, but let's see. I'm going to put it as a prediction. Nynaeve will grow to trust Moiraine along the journey, and she will somehow find out that the true reason why Moiraine wants the three boys along the journey, and this will allow Moiraine and Nynaeve to forge a relationship.
Okay.
Yeah, those are my little asinine predictions.
Well, thank you.
Predictions.
Yeah.
That's your big finish?
Ha-cha-cha.
Y'all should have seen the jazz fingers that she just gave us.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, Jenny, do you have anything before we wrap up? Because we're pretty much done. If you have anything else you want to speak on, anything we forgot to touch on?
No, I guess my sis be steadfast, although it won't be nearly as profound as yours. Just Nynaeve, stop caring so much about what everybody thinks about you.
And
She just spends a lot of her time worrying about what Maureen's gonna think, what Lan's gonna think. Well, those are the only two in this chapter, but it's just a lot of that. Just calm down. Work on yourself.
Know your worth.
You gotta heal that trauma. You gotta heal that block.
There she go with this block again. With this her chakras. Which chakra is blocked?
Okay, that's what I've been trying to figure out, right? Because it might be her heart chakra because she's so hard, right? It's not her solar plex, right? Because she's very astute and aware. It's not her crown. It's not her sacral. It's definitely not her throat. I feel like
she does not bite her tongue.
I think it could either be her root because that has to deal with grounded, or it could be her heart.
Okay,
it's one of the two. That's my Did I get them all? Yeah, I think I got them all. So
So 7 of them, right?
Yeah. It's one of I think it's one of those two. You can put that in the predictions. I don't know if Robert Jordan in 1990 was like, and then we learned that Nynaeve's heart chakra was blocked from trauma through losing her parents at an early age. I don't think I don't think he's gonna get all profound with it, but that's my theory.
Okay.
That's my new age theory, if you will.
All right. So, I have nothing else. So, we are just going to shout out some lovely...
Oh, my favorite segment.
So, shout out to Queers of Time podcast. Definitely check that one out. We will have the link in the description box. And then there's also another dope podcast out there called The Wheel Read.
What up, y'all? The three amigos.
And we will have that link in the description box. Yeah. And of course, we'll have links to our special guest. Shout out to you, Lezbi Nerdy, for chopping it up with us. We appreciate you accommodating us with the different time zones and everything.
And being open and sharing your story.
Yes. We appreciate you trusting us with your vulnerability, trusting the whole world who's going to be listening, hopefully, with your stories. And we know it's late where you are, so thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you
for having me.
So much.
Thank you for,
absolutely
letting me in when I was like, hey, banging on the door. Let me in.
The door was already open.
It was.
We was just waiting on you to...
I banged anyway.
We was waiting on you to come through. When Jenny gonna come through. So if you want to come back, you are more than welcome.
Yeah.
Just holler at us. And For everyone else, please hit us in our DMs.
Yeah.
Hit us. Come chop it up with us on Discord. Let us know what you think about Keba's asinine predictions. I don't do it as good as she does.
You gotta do the sway motion.
I'm sorry. This is not my forte.
Sometimes
it's not
when
my
you
wheelhouse.
don't sway, it comes out off key.
Like how I just off key. Like how I just did.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And next week we are going to be talking about chapters 23 and 24.
Yeah.
Makeba, what do you think chapter 23 is about? It's called Wolf Brother. Or did you think?
I did not think.
Okay. Chapter 24 is called Flight Down the Arenal. Have any idea of who that is? So the Arenal is the river that they were trying to cross.
I did not look at those chapters.
Okay.
So I told you I'm trying to be very honest here. So when I see that symbol at the end of the chapters, I'm like, well, I am completed my mission for the day, and I shall go about my business. So I didn't even bother to check out those. But if I had to, no, I can't even make any.
Can't even make that up on the spot right now.
I have no idea.
All right. Well, that's about it. We got
some real quick life announcements.
Okay.
Because by the time you guys hear this, Mother's Day is around the corner.
Happy Mother's Day to the mom.
Happy Mother's Day to you, Shar.
Thank you.
And to all of the moms listening, and to all of my fur baby moms, you are moms.
Yes.
Happy Mother's Day. I hope your cat treats you to some warm milk.
Nah.
And just really quick, we mentioned this really early in the podcast that a dear friend of ours has opened up a Sylvan Learning Center in the Northeast Bronx. It's a very needed area in the Bronx to improve education scores and tutoring and things of that nature. Well, her grand opening is coming up.
Yes.
On the 13th.
Saturday the 13th. If you are in the New York City, sorry.
Yeah.
Not New York State.
Yeah.
If you're in the New York City area, come uptown to Sylvan Learning Center of the Northeast Bronx for the grand opening. Bring the babies.
Yes.
Come through. It's gonna be
a wang dang doodle. Yeah, she has so many
definitely has some things planned.
Cute things planned. I'm so excited for it. I'm so excited for her. I'm so proud of her.
I'm so proud of her
I'm
too.
so happy for her.
Yeah, shout out to Black owned businesses. Doing their thing.
Yes.
Doing their thing. And this serves the community.
Yes.
That's what's dope about it. It's a Black owned business that actually serves the community.
And it was needed.
Children.
It was needed.
Yeah.
And so I'm really excited to see the impact that she's going to have in that area of the Bronx.
Yeah.
And the way that our children are going to excel from those services. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait to report on it again.
Definitely.
But in the meantime, and in between all of those times, you know where you can find us on the social media, Trinity of Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at WoT In Color, WoTinColor, right? Because spelling. Yes. You can listen and subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Google, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon, blah, 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 all of them. Go to whatever platform you listen to podcasts, type in WoT In Color, and we will pop up our beautiful brown faces, and you can chat with us in our Discord. If you're not in our Discord, you need to ask yourself why. Ask yourself why.
Yeah, holla at us.
And then don't do a parent. Just go click the link in our bio.
Yeah, don't think about it.
Right. Click the link tree in our bio or in the description box below. Join that Discord. Join the conversation. Get enlightened. Be dope. And if you have any questions about anything, or you just want to send a nice note, we take nice notes. You can send them to wotincolor@gmail.com. We check those all the time. We get things. We will shout you out with your permission. And it's a Wang Dang Doodle in there too. There is literally no way that you can't contact us.
Yep.
So
we're accessible.
We are accessible, and we are ready to discourse, I guess, if you will.
With you, yes.
With you.
Absolutely.
And so make sure you hit us up.
Definitely. Thank you again, Jenny.
Yes.
We need to have the
the
clapping.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we're gonna get some. Subscribe to our Patreon so we can
so
we can pay for some sound effects.
But so, Jenny, are you still doing Nerdy Negroes?
It is almost finished for at least for season 1, I guess. Yeah.
Tell the people who have no idea what's going on.
Oh, right.
Where they can.
Yeah. Okay. So look up, I guess, Nerdy Negroes Read the Wheel of Time for the first time. It's me and Addison from the Everyday Negroes channel. Addison watched season 1 and then has only read book 1. So that's basically what we're talking about, his perspective on, how he thought about the first book, coming at it from somebody who knew the story from the show. So It's just, it's been a fun time. And I hope people seem to like it. So, hopefully we can do more. But, we're going to have to wait till the next season comes out.
Awesome. So he's going to read book 2, is what you're saying?
I do not want to speak for him.
You can't speak for him. Okay.
I don't want to speak for him. But, he won't until he really doesn't like to be spoiled. So he found the book kind of spoilery.
Okay.
So he definitely won't pick up book 2 until
more than the
2.
TV show?
Okay.
Yeah. I can't really say, but they're telling the same story, but they're maybe telling it on different timelines. So some things happen, and then I don't want to say more than that, but
yeah. You can't say.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Well, y'all make sure y'all go check that out. I can't watch it, so check it out for me, and then
in solidarity.
Right, in solidarity, right? Fist in the air.
All right. Well, listen, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to WoT In Color. Remember to come in love and go in peace.
Just don't let Perrin overthink you. I don't know. That was a bad one. On the way out. Deuces.